Willie D sat down with Keith Murray and he talked to him about how to control his legacy. And he gave him some tips on how to do that. Listen to Willie D as he breaks it down. Check it out.
Exactly how it's properly done. Light, camera, action.
I know how you can get on with these big agencies.
Yeah.
Go do door deals. Do your own thing.
Door deals.
Go do some door deals. Do your own thing. Bet on yourself.
What happens when you bet on yourself, it creates empowerment. Telling your own legacy allows you to take ownership of your life and experiences. So when you bet on yourself, you create empowerment in the most powerful way. You doing it yourself.
And when they see you get money without them, they're going to want to come. They're going to come running. They're going to come scurrying, man, because one thing that the big boys don't like is you get money without them. They're going to come to you. As soon as you start doing it, same thing what I did with my podcast, Willie D Live. When I started, I just started like with one subscriber just like everybody else on YouTube. I started with one subscriber. And next thing you know, I'm at 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800,000 now. But the thing is that I had to bet on myself first. Nobody just said, hey, we want you to do a podcast, we'll pay you this amount of money. No, I had to start one at a time and earn $1 at a time.
And this made Willie D authentic because he told his own story. And this is another key in controlling your legacy. Because see, when you tell your own story, you have the power to be authentic and true to yourself. Others may have their own biases or interpretations about your life, but only you can truly convey your experiences, values, and beliefs. By taking control of your legacy, you will ensure that your story is told in your own voice and without distortions or misrepresentations. And this is what makes you authentic.
But I went and did it, and now I'm getting offers. They offer me almost weekly. I get some type of offer for millions of dollars. They want to buy the podcast. And I'm like, nah, because it's bigger than the money for me. It's really about having a voice for our people where we can control the narrative.
Right.
It's black media is very, very important. And I don't think some of our people really understand that we have a duty to control the narrative, to control our own narrative.
And see what happens when you control your own narrative. You know that everything is accurate. And this is another key. This is a major key on controlling your legacy, because no one knows your life better than you do. No one knows your history better than you do. And no one knows your people's history better than you do. So by telling your own legacy, you can ensure that the facts and details are accurately portrayed. Because if someone else does it, they're going to put their spin on it and they're going to put their own narrative to make them the better guy or to make it in the favor of them, however it may be. But others may unintentionally or intentionally omit or alter certain aspects of your life, leading to a distorted version of your legacy. By taking charge of your own narrative, you can ensure that the truth will be preserved.
We cannot rely on others to tell our stories truthfully.
Right.
We can't rely on them to tell the stories accurately.
Right.
We have to tell our own stories. We have to be able to control our own images.
And when you control your own narrative, like Willie D said, it creates personal empowerment. By telling your own story, you ensure that your legacy is preserved in the way that you want it to be remembered. Not in the ways that others want it to be remembered, but how you want it to be remembered. And this is a very powerful key. And you have to do that if you want to have control of your legacy.
And so this is why I keep the podcast going. It's a lot that happens behind the scenes that you have to deal with. But, for me, I have an obligation.
And the obligation is to make sure that his story is told the right way. And the only way his story is going to be told the right way is as if he tells it. He has to tell that story, nobody else. Now, here's the thing with controlling your own legacy. You have to be in the forefront. You have to be up front. You can't be in the back. You have to be in the front if you want to control your legacy. And Keith Murray talks about that may be one of the things that he may struggle with, but Willie D breaks it down with a clear objective in a clear way and a clear path that he can overcome it. So listen to Keith Murray as he talks about the inner struggle that he has, and listen to the answer that Willie D has to offer him. Check it out.
I'm still struggling with that, sitting there, looking in the camera, being there at a particular time, at the same time all the time, and people really getting an image of me. I'm not used to that, but they saying that I could do it, but I'm like, I don't really see it in my cards.
It's easy, bro, because what you fear is structure. But what you fear is structure. And so you have, if you want to overcome that fear, you have to, and if you want something in life, whatever you want in life, your actions have to be consistent with the outcome that you want.
In other words, you have to put in the work. If you have goals, you have to put in the work to achieve the goals. As simple as that.
So if you want to do this podcast thing, if you want to be successful in it, then you have to do what the people who are successful in it does. And that is be consistent. That's the number one thing in life, period. With anything that you want to do, any goal that you ever have, is consistency. And so I remember when I started the podcast, I was looking at guys that was doing what I wanted to do. And I was like, damn, how are they doing it? Okay. Oh man, they putting out 2, 3, 4 videos a day. Damn, and I started thinking, like, man, that's 20-something damn videos a week. That's 1,000 videos a month, a year. Man, that's a lot of work. But then I kept thinking to myself, like, but that's what I really want to do.
And whatever your field is or whatever your career is, if you want to be successful, you have to look at the people that are already successful in what you're trying to do and just basically copy it. And like what Willie D said, the best that are doing the podcast, they're dropping videos consistently. That's anybody with YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. They are being consistent at dropping content. And in order to be successful, that's what you have to do. And that's what's going to get your subscribers up. And that's what's going to help you build your legacy and control your legacy in that field.
I want to do it. Well, if I really want to do it, then I have to be disciplined. I have to discipline myself, and I have to overcome my fear of that structure, having that structure and that consistency. So I just, one day, and I always subscribe to the theory that the first step is the hardest. Get that first step out of the way, anything in life, then boom, you got it.
And there you have it. But in the latter part of this interview that he had with Keith Murray, he told Keith Murray 3 keys. You have to have structure, you have to have discipline, and you have to be consistent. And them are some major keys that Keith Murray can take, and he can apply to anything that he wants to do in life, and also anybody else. But the 3 keys in controlling your legacy are, number 1, authenticity. When you tell your own story, you have the power to be authentic and true to yourself. Others may have their own biases or interpretations of your life, but only you could convey your experiences, values, and belief. And by taking control of your legacy, you ensure that your story is told in your own voice without any distortions or misrepresentations. Number 2 is accuracy. No one knows your life better than you do. By telling your own legacy, you can ensure that the facts and details are accurately portrayed. Others may unintentionally or intentionally omit or alter certain aspects of your life, leading to a distorted version of your legacy. But by taking charge of your own narrative, you can ensure that the truth will be preserved. And number 3 is empowerment. Telling your own legacy allows you to take ownership of your life and experiences. It empowers you to reflect on your journey, share your wisdom, and leave a lasting impact on future generations. By allowing someone else to tell your legacy, you relinquish this power and control how you are remembered. So remember, By allowing someone else to tell your legacy, you relinquish this power and control how you are remembered. But in conclusion of all this, having control over your own legacy is crucial for authenticity, accuracy, and personal empowerment. By telling your own story, you ensure that your legacy is preserved in the way that you want it to be remembered. Like, share, subscribe. We out.